We're live. Woo!
Yeah,
Let's see if we totally fail. Stream status bad. We're not receiving video data at a fast enough speed.
I see it though.
Consider losing a lower bit rate.
Let me share. Create post. Oh, Aiden's here.
Stream status bad. Primary stream. Let's go to my settings real quick. Stream.
Oh, meme. The meme is here. Allison is here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have many choices for the quality.
They say it's good. In the chat?
The quality's good?
Yeah.
Well, YouTube is lying. Yeah, I have FPS at 60. Maybe my resolution and stuff can go down, but alright. I'll work on that for next time. Hi, everybody! Subscribe to my channel! AGeekyChick's going to be here a lot because she's my favorite co-host. Oops, did I say that? No, she's one of my favorite co-hosts. Everyone's awesome. Every one of my co-hosts
doing live like I asked.
is the best. Is that Joseph? Is that Joseph? Joseph was the one who asked me, right?
You say perfect quality and sound, so that's good.
Good. I can't see. So how do I see the chat? Oh, okay, the stream is now good. It says the health is good.
I have the window. You can pop out the window. I'm going to pop it out. I have the chat popped out, so you can still look at the notes.
So you go to...
Yes, they said it's Joseph. There's Speedy Ultra.
Okay. Live now.
They said it's Joseph. No, meme, I haven't maxed anybody out. Not recently.
Okay, so the chat is then going to be on the side. Okay. Guys, bear with me. I'm working on this here. I'm working on this. Pop out chat. Boom.
You got chat. Okay.
Look at that. All right. So now all I have to do, it's hard because I need to be able to see you too. And I need the notes. How am I going to do this? This is like triple tasking.
I got the notes. I fixed it. No more high school name. What?
Okay, so let's close.
Elliot's here. Xavier's here. Neen the Meme. Schumann. Aiden.
Carrie Schumann's here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's going to be a good show then.
Alicia, jhfan.net. Allison. Lots of good people.
Lots of bad people, too. Bad people.
Yes.
All right. Make sure I can see everything clearly. Wow. Let me print screen here. Take a screen.
I'm not even done with the case.
Is the live stream still up? I disconnected from the internet briefly.
It looks like it's still live. Yeah.
Still live? Okay. I guess it reconnects pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Good. All right. I will not try to print screen that anymore.
What did you hit?
I hit under the function print screen it goes to airplane mode.
Oh.
So I killed my Wi-Fi. Yeah, technology. Awesome. Seems like the chat is about like 10-15 seconds behind. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's usually a delay. I think you can turn off the delay, but I'm not sure where at.
Oh, Allison's here. Allison in the house. Hi, Allison. Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Stacy. Xavier. Aiden. Cool. The crew is in the house. All right. Ready to get this started?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My ultra high-tech sound stuff. Patreon.com/Around the Kingdom if you don't want to see me using this phone anymore. I want me to get a soundboard. We are halfway there to our first goal of getting me a soundboard so we can get all cool kind of sounds and stuff for the show instead of me holding my phone to a microphone. Yeah. Patreon.com/Around the Kingdom. Your name can be read at the beginning of the show. All right. Flip this up. Volume up. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of Around the Kingdom, a Disney Magic Kingdoms podcast by a guy who loves bugs. Coming to you live from the top of Maleficent's Tower, I am your host, Steve Squirrel, and once again, we have the fantastic AGeekyChick here to co-host with me.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us this week. Whether you're listening or whether you're watching live, yes, we're going live this week. It's crazy. We'll see how it goes. But thank you for joining us as we explore the wonderful world of Disney and Magic Kingdoms. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to our Patreons, Carrie Schumann, Anita Anderson, Kathy Clausen, and Honeybee. Thank you so much for your continued support. We are already halfway to our first show goal, so if you want to help support the show, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Around the Kingdom. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and now YouTube. It's a great way to stay in touch with me and the community of our show. The links to everything will be in the show notes and can also be found on the show's main Facebook page. The Kingdom is always changing, so for reference, this show is being recorded Wednesday, February 6th at around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so now it's time to get into it. This has been a very eventful week since we last spoke at AGeekyChick, so let's see what happened from the last time we spoke. Chapter 2 came up, so what have you been doing this week?
Focusing on the Tower Challenge.
Yeah.
Much better than... Oh, wait. Are we talking about Chapter 2? Because Chapter 3 is going much better than Chapter...
Well, just kind of, about your week in the Kingdom in general, and then we'll dive deep into the chapters after that.
Okay. Well, just sending people out and logging in the game every couple of hours. I haven't been doing too much leveling. I did level a few characters to prepare for Chapter 3. And the big thing in my kingdom is I'm back up to 2 million magic.
Oh, nice.
Like if more land eventually comes, I'll probably need more than that because I can't remember. The last one was like 3 something.
The last one was 3 million, so I bet the next one will be 4 million.
Yeah, so I've set that as my new goal.
Well, that's a fantastic goal to have, that's for sure. Awesome. Well, my week was pretty good as far as stuff outside of the Tower Challenge. I'm still working on the Shere Khan and Wendy Darling welcome quests. They do take a long time, going a little bit quicker than I would expect, but I guess it kind of feels like it's going quicker when you're not just sitting there like when am I going to get, each drop? Because I'm so focused on the Tower Challenge and everything else going on that it's been like 2 weeks. And like, I'm probably about halfway there for, maybe halfway, a little bit less than halfway there for them. And, but it doesn't feel like it's dragging on forever because I've just been so busy. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I did purchase the Mushu and Sparkler stand bundle. So that was a pretty cool purchase that I did. And of course, I purchased the Mulan Legendary chests, which I'm kicking myself for not getting during the sale. So I did complete the Mulan collection, of course, minus cri-kee, through the Legendary chests. Then I was always talking about side quests. So I've been talking about them a lot lately. Just when I thought I was done, I had sent Elastigirl out to Omnidroid City to finish her side quest. I got a whole bunch more. All the Mulan characters have their side quests popping up. I've been leveling some people, and their side quests are popping up. So the never-ending side quests are good. But hey, listen, I love them. I love the dialogue. I love all the storylines, so I'm happy to have some more of those. And Squirrely's really happy to have them because she loves when I read them to her. Yeah, I did slow down my leveling a bit because I just really wanted to quickly level up my Mulan characters. I didn't want token conflicts. I didn't want anything going on, so I've kind of slowed down with things. But I'm ready to ramp it up pretty soon and get things moving again for the little bit of time we're going to have between the end of this Tower Challenge and whatever is to come in the near future. But we will get to that in a little bit. And big news! This is probably the biggest news of the entire show. My Lifetime Visitors Board rank is now 149,534. Yes, I've broke into the top 150,000 players. Next goal, let's say top 125,000. Let's not get too crazy. So next goal there. But yes, I'm moving on up, and hopefully we'll break that next goal soon. All right, so now is the time of the show where we talk about the newcomer tip of the week. AGeekyChick, take it away.
All right, so for this week, as we're coming closer to the end of the Tower Challenge, my advice to newcomers would be don't panic if you can't get the final prize in this. Just focus on getting characters from maybe sets that you missed, depending on when you started the game. But I wouldn't take this as, oh no, I failed the Tower Challenge, or like this is going to dictate how you're going to do in the rest of the game. But if you're new, don't take it too serious if you weren't able, or if you won't be able to get cri-kee or even all of the characters that they're offering you to buy with currency.
Yeah, we had a really good discussion in our group, in the Around the Kingdom Facebook group, about what you should really expect from a Tower Challenge and it was interesting because a lot of people are talking about being a newcomer and, trying to really focus on just being happy. You're getting 3 new characters. You're getting probably 3 new attractions. You're getting to really get stuff that you didn't get. Mm-hmm. And for me, I know when I was first starting, I was super stoked to do that for my first 2 challenges. That's all I did. That's all I focused on. And then I just kept going with main storyline. And then people were talking about the experienced veteran players and how they keep making the Tower Challenges harder and harder to appease those challenges, to those players, etc. But then there was a really good discussion about the middle. And people like myself, for example, who are kind of in the middle. We have, a bunch of people at level 7, level 8. We don't have all the characters. Well, now I do. But, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't have every set. So it was a really good discussion. If you want to read up more on that, join our Facebook group. It's a really, really good conversation. And it gives you a better insight into like what people think, to what to expect. And everyone had some really good ideas and thoughts. So check that out. Okay, but awesome tip. I mean, it's just what you need to do to have fun. And that's what this is all about, right? Cool. All right, well, now it's time for the game news. So before we get into the rest of the Tower Challenge stuff, we have some big news that got dropped on Tuesday, which was yesterday. When people were logging into the game, there suddenly were pictures of pieces of stained glass window, and we were directed to upload our screenshots of them to the Disney Magic Kingdom's Facebook page. pieces of this stained glass window were also exclusively given to some of the YouTube content creators, namely AGeekyChick, Disney Girl, and KC, all friends of the show. All the pieces except one were eventually put together by the fans, and we have a picture of a starry night sky with some clouds and what appears to be a large star. There is one final missing piece that we'll get to see on Friday during a new live stream, and we're really, really excited for that.
Yes.
Woo! So we were guessing that a new event of some kind would begin on the 15th, and that's all thanks to our friends, the Chinese hackers, who showed us that the daily reward would be the Little Mermaid Legendary Chest. So we all kind of had a feeling that something was going to be happening right about then. Mm-hmm. So I guess the big question that we've all been talking about is, what will the new event be? Will it be an event? Will it be permanent content? It seems like there's been a big split between Princess and the Frog or Pinocchio. Some people are still saying Dumbo because the live-action movie's releasing at the end of March. I personally think there's some time for them to do something Dumbo-related at the end of March, so I'm not really feeling Dumbo right now. But before I get into what I think, I want to know what you think. What do you think, AGeekyChick? Yeah, yeah.
I'm so used to you like talking to the show. Yes. I wanted to be Princess and the Frog. I've wanted Princess and the Frog for a long time. I think maybe even a year ago, I did like a top things, that I would like to see. And like even the thumbnail for that video is Princess Tiana. So I'm really excited. There's been some pretty big clues and wordplay from the Disney Magic Kingdom's Facebook account that really, really is leading me to the Princess and the Frog. But I just love how, I was just going to say with the stained glass pieces, it was crazy how they were hidden in pictures that were already put out there before we even, I don't know, that kind of just like blew my mind. Like we were looking at hints and didn't even.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because someone had said something. I was like, nah. But then I thought about it, and they've done this before. Like for example, the pumpkins. You remember the pumpkins were in the shape of the hammer?
Yes.
And they were out there. Like, they put clues into the game, a long time before they even, get out. And that's very, very clever.
I love it.
And it's a really ingenious way of doing things. So I love that. Keep doing that, Disney Magic Kingdoms, because it makes us not just look at the pictures and be like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, chapter 3, Mulan, I see it, People really have to start looking at, like, what's going on in the background? What do I see here?
Yeah. And, like, somebody had circled it, like, a few days before the other pieces started dropping, and I wonder if this means something, and people were like, no, but just that, there are people out there who mind already thinking. I don't know. That's pretty. I missed it. I didn't even know they were like separate. I don't know. When I went back, I was like, oh, okay.
Cool. Well, so your vote is Princess and the Frog. So are you thinking that we're just going to go straight into one of those like long, 4-week events, or do you think that it will be more of just, like a permanent content edition with maybe just 4 characters, 3 or 4 characters? How do you think this is going to be laid out?
I think with it being a princess, they won't miss out on the opportunity for this to be a big event. And then I was thinking like maybe it'll come with permanent content, but somebody had mentioned, and I don't know how it slipped my mind, but we did just get added characters for the Cinderella permanent content. So there's a good chance that maybe this will just be an event.
Well, sure. I mean, it's everyone thinks up in the air. We had Wreck-It Ralph that went all the way through the end of December. Then we had the little Christmas thing. Then we went right into permanent content. Then we went right into a Tower Challenge. I mean, it's been so much going on. But remember, Mulan only had 3 characters, and she's a princess.
Yeah, she was like a little mini event.
Right. So,
and then Cinderella was only 2 added as permanent content until they added.
But that was very early on, right, in the game. Right?
Mulan was early on too.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. My guess, obviously, is not Dumbo. So I think that something's going to happen at the end of March. Like, I think that they're going to be planning something around that. So whatever they do now, they're going to need to have a big enough break to do, something then. So, it will be interesting to see, but that's at least my guess for how things are going to be coming. And we'll see. But yes, could it be a full event? Yes. So if it is Princess and the Frog, who are the characters that you would think that would be added?
Princess Tiana,
Right.
Prince Naveen, and then how do you say it? The Dr. Facilier, or however you say him, as like a villain. Her friend Charlotte, possibly. Ray, the little fire bug.
Right.
I don't know why that Firefly, is that it? And then the crocodile. The name.
Yes,
slipped me right now.
Definitely, he's one of my favorites. But yeah.
Oh, and Mama Odie. A lot of people think Mama Odie.
Yeah, I that was one of the first people outside of the main cast that I was thinking would be Mama Odie. So, yeah, it'd be very, very interesting. They do have it. Thinking about it, they definitely have enough content to put into 2 full rows of characters to make it even harder to scroll through all of the characters when you're trying to go and find somebody. But yes, no, definitely have enough for a full event. So
lots of good costume options too.
I'm sorry?
Good costume options also. Tiana with the comfy costume.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then she has her regular outfit that she wore, and then she has the outfit that she changes into
and
also.
Then frog
right.
form.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. She could be frog form. But she has 2 dresses, right?
Yeah, she does have 2 dresses.
She has 2 dresses. She has the one at the beginning, and then she has the when she gets into the fancy gown one, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So there's lots of really cool stuff for her. That'll be really exciting. I'd really, really love to have that come into the kingdom. I think she'd be an awesome, awesome addition. And my daughter would flip out because she loves that movie. And it gives me a good excuse to watch it again because it's been too long. So,
listen, I hear it's on Stars. If people haven't seen it and they have Stars, it is on Stars. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming services with Disney trying to get their own streaming together.
Right. Yeah. Well, find it somehow. Find a friend. Rent it at Blockbuster Video. Go to your nearest Blockbuster Video and rent it. Unless if you live in Alaska. Actually, we have one person from Alaska that I was asking where people are from. But anyway, if you're from Alaska, go to the last Blockbuster Video that exists in the world. If not, well, you're out of luck. Maybe go to eBay. But all right, let's move on. We're getting on too much of a tangent here. So that is the big news. We will obviously be talking more about this Friday once the live stream happens. Make sure that you watch the live stream and then stay close to the Around the Kingdom Twitter and Facebook pages and groups because there's going to be lots of talk going around there. Obviously, there's going to be lots of buzz going on. Also, make sure to stay close to AGeekyChick's YouTube channel because she's going to be posting lots of awesome videos about all of that as well. Okay, so let's move on and go into chapter 2 of the Tower Challenge. So this last we spoke, which we recorded last Tuesday, the chapter 2 is coming out the following day, and we had talked last episode about the leaks about who would be the characters. Well, it turned out all the leaks were 100% correct, as they always were. So for the helpers, we had Monsters, Inc., we had Mike, Sully, Roz, Randall, and Boo. We had a duo slot of Pirates in the Caribbean and Peter Pan, which was Elizabeth, Will, Barbosa, Tia Dalma, and Captain Hook. We had a first triple slot with Mickey and Friends, Toy Story, Wall-E, which consisted of Buzz, Goofy, Eve, and Wally. And then we had The Incredibles as the featured story with Mr. Incredible, Dash, Frozone, Jack, Violet, and Syndrome, and the featured character of Elastigirl. The big reward for points was Jack's Nom Nom Cookie Stand. Yes, in case you didn't hear that right, that's Jack's Nom Nom Cookie Stand. I love saying that. At 43,500 points. And then the leaderboard rewards were the Maleficent Stand, 1,000 event currency and 2 refreshers for rank 1 through 10. 11 through 50 was 1,000 event currency and 2 refreshers. and then it just kind of worked its way down from there. And the item needed for cri-kee in Chapter 2 were bug cages, and they were 500 EC each, and so you had to collect 30 of those. So that's Chapter 2. So let's get your thoughts on Chapter 2. What did you think about it as far as pacing goes? The first triple slot that we ever had, the character selection. Talk to me.
I didn't do well. I did Chapter 2. I spent gems. I used up all my refreshers. Like, it was a struggle for me. I was just kind of panicky. My characters weren't leveled up max for that chapter. I don't know. So, but I did get the Nom Nom cookie stand by any means necessary.
Yes.
And I finished like right that day with getting, I didn't have much currency left over, but I was able to get all of the tokens, the bird cages it was. But I don't know. I like having...
It's bug cages, because it's a bug.
Oh, did I say bird?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that isn't... Okay. But I liked having the different options. It just wasn't a good round for me, though, just because of the levels of my characters. And I didn't get that real good start for Chapter 1.
Yeah, I definitely understand. So I loved the fact that they're doing duo and triple slots. That was really cool to see. I was very fortunate that Incredibles was one of the first sets that I got, because once I got into the game, the Incredibles 2 had just came out, and my daughter was had incredible fever. So they were the first set of legendary chests that I purchased shortly after it was frozen. So most of them I had pretty high level, which was really good. I also had my Chapter 1, I went really, really, really hard into Chapter 1. So I had a lot of, I think I had 10 cages going right at the beginning of Chapter 2.
Oh, wow.
So I had a good head start. My drop rates for refreshers were pretty good. And yeah, it went very well for me. It went very well. I was able to get the Nom Nom cookie stand, which was basically like the prize that I was waiting for the most. But things kind of slowed down, and going to the end of Chapter 2, and going into the next chapter was definitely slower as far as how much EC I had. So yeah, Chapter 2 I thought was okay. I definitely saw there was a big jump between the leaderboard points, not the leaderboard points, but the reward points that you needed to get in Chapter 1, where just about everyone was able to get that stand. But Jack's Nom Nom cookie stand, there was a big leap, so it was definitely much harder to get for people. So yeah, that's where it was. I thought it was a good chapter, though. I was happy with it, and that's it. Any other thoughts on Chapter 2 before we move on?
No.
Okay. So Chapter 2 ended, and Chapter 3 began. And as we expected, the helpers were the Zootopia and Mickey and Friends. It was a duo slot of Goofy, and then the Zootopia characters, Judy, Nick, Flash, and Bogo. And then there was our first quad slot of Cinderella, Aurora, Rapunzel, and Wendy, Darling. Then we had another quad slot of Pete, Mother Gothel, Zurg, and Shere Khan, the villains, as we so wonderfully discovered last time. So those were the slots, the helpers for Chapter 3. And then, of course, Mulan was the featured character, and the Mulan characters were the helpers. So there are only 2 helpers instead of, like, you go from the Incredibles, which had 1, 2, 3, they had 6 Incredibles that were helpers plus the featured character, to having 2 plus Mulan. I don't count cri-kee because you're working to get him. So you had a dramatic drop off of helpers, and then of course you had a dramatic drop off of people who even got to these points. I mean, a lot of people didn't even get to Zootopia, so they just had Goofy to send out. Even Aurora Rapunzel, you know, Wendy definitely for sure. I don't even have Wendy yet. Shere Khan. So chapter 3 got increasingly more difficult, exponentially would be right. So the rewards were easy. At 9,000 points, you got a target dummy. And then up to 50,000 points is the bacon and egg stand, which is what I'll always call it, with bacon, egg, smiley face stand, which I don't think I'm going to get. The leaderboards ranked 1 through 10, Maleficent hat stand, 15 gems, and 3,500 magic. And then it just works its way down the board with gems and magic. The item you need in Chapter 3 is cri-kee's ears, and those are 650 event currency each. So before we get into the costumes, let's talk about our thoughts on Chapter 3. So,
I'm right there with you. I don't think I'm gonna get the bacon and egg stand. I had wrote it down. I have like 20,000 points out of the 50,000 needed to get there. So I don't think I'm gonna make it. We only have only 2 days left. I have 13 out of 25 ears. I think I'll get the ears. Well, I'll get the ears by any means necessary. So I have to speed up some stuff. I'll speed it up. I'll make sure that I get cri-kee. But if I don't have the 50,000 for the concession, I'll just have to catch it the next time it shows up. Yeah.
So it's looking good that you'll get cri-kee?
Well, I'll get cri-kee by any means necessary.
Yeah.
I have 13 out of 25. So I'm halfway there. And what they give us, I'm almost there to the 2,500 currency they're going to give us. And then I have like 1,700. And we still have 2 days. So I feel good.
Yeah.
But like I said, if it comes to where it looks kind of, I'll just spend the gems.
Yeah. Okay. So well, okay. So we'll talk about that. So the increasing difficulty, what do you think about that? Do you think that it was a little too much? Where do you think on the balancing aspect of Chapter 3?
The 50,000 points, I think that's a lot. For the leaderboard, it seemed really, really hard to get those prizes this time. And I don't know if it's intentional to make them more rare and coveted, but that was kind of extreme. I don't think I really care for that too much because concession stands are the thing I like, but you needed so many points. The price for the ears didn't seem too far from normal.
No.
And my characters are all decent level, so the currency requirement doesn't seem like too off for me.
Yeah, the currency requirement, if I do remember correctly, is exactly what it was for the last Tower Challenge for the mayor. Mm-hmm. The difference is that I think that the characters in Chapter 3 were easier. It was an easier time to get event currency in the third chapter. It just felt like I just felt like I wasn't struggling as much.
Yeah.
And the bacon and egg stand, I think that because the 43,500 in Chapter 2 was easy to get. Like, I didn't feel like it was too, I don't want to say easy, but I didn't feel like it was ridiculous. So you're only going up 7,000 more. And I got over 50,000 points in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but I'm not going to hit it in 3, and it's just because of lack of characters. And for the fact that I had to use so many refreshers for these at lower level characters, it's hard. So the 50,000 in this chapter feels like 100,000 in Chapters 1 and Chapter 2. So it's very deceiving with the amount of points needed. Yeah. And it's hard. They wanted to make it hard, though. Again, this is meant to be challenging. So I get it.
Yeah. I feel like it was definitely like a statement made. Like, on this whole tower challenges are not supposed to be easy. And that's another reason with the tip, I was like, don't stress if you don't get it, I feel like it's not supposed to be like everybody just breeze through the tower challenge,
Yeah. One thing to note, because we were talking about the characters and like people who are newer to the game. One item to note which people were talking about is that Mulan, the featured character, cost 5,000 event currency to get, which as a newer player would be quite difficult to come by. So, that was something interesting to note. Maybe they wanted to make you know, if someone was strictly going in just to get the attractions and not going to do anything for cri-kee, they're like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, I'm a newer player. Maybe they wanted to make those newer players kind of work for it. Yeah, Alicia in the chat says it's called a challenge for a reason,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was just gonna say that 5,000 to me, that was like another big statement, like, because you'd have to get Mulan and level her up for her to be any useful. It kind of was like, I mean, and that's a lot. That's a big chunk. I kind of felt like it was like you're making an either or choice if you're a new player at that point. You know, do I get Mulan or do I try to save up and see if there's a chance to get cri-kee? But is there even really a chance for you to get cri-kee if you didn't have Mulan's chapter? So
yeah, it's tough. I think there is a chance to get cri-kee if you didn't have Mulan, because my Mulan's only like level 2 or 3, you know, but
yeah.
I was able to send her out for event currency quests. I don't know. It would be interesting. It's definitely a choice, though, that you'd have to make, because 5,000 event currency is really, really high. Traditionally, it's been, you know, the third character has always been pretty low, just like Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
But I did see somebody say on a Facebook group, I think it was either Mike, who he comments a lot on Disney Magic Kingdom Champions group, and he mentioned how, I think it was Michael or Daniel. They mentioned how Mulan is a more like I don't know, like you say, epic character or something. Like in her event, she was the last character that you collect, where it's not always been that. You know, it's usually, you know what I mean? Like, she was a harder to get character.
Sure.
And when she was available.
And her rarity in the chests, I believe, was either rare or epic. It wasn't, she wasn't common. Like, I think Li Shang is the common one. So, yeah, so interesting. But yeah, so it's an interesting twist. There's been lots of twists in this Tower Challenge. But yeah, so that's what it is. Any final things on Chapter 3 with not talking about the costumes?
No.
Okay. All right, so the first thing to talk about is Mulan's warrior costume. Mulan's warrior costume opened up with Chapter 3. And it is permanent content and requires 12 lotus hair pieces, which are the regular Mulan tokens, 12 warrior Mulan fabric, which are only available in the ruby chests. I'm sorry, and 12 Mulan ears tokens. So you have the 12, 12, and 12. So the warrior Mulan fabric is only available in ruby chests. The other two items are available just as regular items for Mulan. So we got one chest as a daily logon reward. The chests contained tokens up to 1, 2, or 3 at a time of the fabric. They also had the tokens for all of the Chapter 3 people to level up in. Plus, they contained the refreshers as well. So once the ruby chests are gone, the fabric will only be in the Mulan legendary chests. Now, these ruby chests gave you like 5 things, you know, so it was you got a lot of stuff out of the ruby chests. And the percentage chance that you were going to get the warrior fabric was pretty high. I think the 2 warrior fabric was like almost like a 50% chance to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so you had a good chance to get this fabric. They were on sale for 25 gems each, or for $4.99 for a 6-pack. So there was a lot of questions going around about in our group about what this meant. Some people thought that the warrior costume was just going to go away. You had no chance of getting it because people were saying, if I get all the warrior Mulan fabric now, do I have to have this welcomed before the event ends? And I'm going to say the answer is no, because direct from Gameloft, when I was talking to them, they had said that the fabric itself specifically will not be obtainable only in the legendary chests. Now, if you have ever seen the legendary chests for Grumpy, you'll know that there's an extra slot. So you get your happiness slot, you get your magic slot, and then in this case, you'd get a warrior fabric slot and then you'd get your main token that you got out of your chests. So there'd be 4 slots. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work moving forward. But it is permanent content. It's not going anywhere. So how did you do? Did you get chests?
I bought 2 when they first showed up, and I got 2 and 2 fabric, so that was 4. And then I had the free one, and I have 3. No, I got the free one and got 2, so I have a total of 6. So that's like halfway there. I already had the hair pieces and the hat, and it's just a matter of waiting. I'm gonna buy the rubies. I think I definitely that. And who knows when the Mulan legendary chest will come back, if they're gone after this, and I don't know what that's going to be, in legendary chest costs more than ruby chest. So I'm definitely going to do it, the rest of the ruby chest, and unlock the costume before time is up.
Yeah, the costume's pretty awesome looking, I have to say. So I haven't welcomed it yet because I'm taking my time since it's permanent content. But I did go ahead and buy the ruby chest to make sure I had all the Mulan fabric. And my luck was pretty bad. I seemed to get 1 every chest that I got. I used gems to purchase the chests because I had quite a bit stockpiled, just because I've been stockpiling and hoarding my gems. But I needed lots of refreshers. I needed a lot, and I got a lot. So yeah. I spent 400 gems. Yes, that's a lot of gems. I spent 400 gems on ruby chests. And I got a ton of the refreshers. I got a ton of tokens, and then I do have enough warrior Mulan fabric now. So I can and will be able to welcome Mulan's warrior costume when I am ready. So yeah, that's what it is. It was hard to obtain. Excuse me. But the thing about it is that we talked about it in our group, and we if you want to talk about should I get it now or should I wait, the cost of 1 chest is only 25 gems. The cost of 1 legendary chest is 60. The cost of a bundle for 6 is $4.99. The cost of a legendary chest bundle is $9.99. So if you really want this warrior costume and you're going to be spending money or gems to get it, now is the time to do it, because it is going to be considerably inexpensive, considerably less expensive, either gem or money-wise, to do it now. So yeah. that is my advice for anyone who wants that. Okay, anything else about the warrior costume before we move on?
No, that's it.
You good? Okay. Now we come to the epic finale, the grand finale, if you will. Mulan's comfy costume. Mulan's comfy costume takes 8 Lotus hairpiece tokens, which is, obviously, as we just talked about, Mulan's standard item. 8 glitched fabrics, which were obtained with various characters. Either like Chip and Dale had a 1-hour quest if they both had their lunar costumes on. Princess Dressing Room dropped it, and some other Mulan characters dropped it. And then the 6 comfy fabric. The only person who can get the comfy fabric is cri-kee. They also did make the Mulan comfy costume bundle available for the costume plus 40 gems for $4.99. So for people who were, for newer players who didn't have a chance to get cri-kee, or the, and just knew that this was not an obtainable goal for them, it gave them the option to purchase it, which is good, because they have to have something planned for if you have all the comfy costumes, right? Like there's definitely something coming down the line. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
There's going to have to be once because there's 7 slots in the dressing room, so there's going to have to be something where, the princesses, if you send them all to the dressing room at the same time, there's going to be a quest or something. It's got to be there. So they made this available. Here's the thing about this, which makes the chapter 3 even harder. The comfy fabric And now we're talking about not speeding things up by gems. So we're talking about just playing the game, and letting the timers run the way they were. 6 comfy fabric, 1 character that can do it in a 4-hour quest, literally means that you need 1 full day with a 100% drop rate to get those 6 comfy fabric. Here's the kicker on that. When you welcome cri-kee, the same quest also gets his ears and the bug cages and the strength and discipline tokens. So they are all conflicts with the fabric, with the comfy fabric. So you have to then go and speed through and try to get enough EC to get those tokens so that they're not conflicting. Which I definitely had 2 conflicts where I got the wrong token. So that was really hard. So I spent the 400 gems on the ruby chests to get refresher tokens and I had a ton saved up. And I sped through. I spent almost another 100 gems speeding through the tower challenge to just keep getting EC, because I needed to get cri-kee fast. Because realistically, if you're going to do this, get it done, you need cri-kee in 2, maybe 3 days tops. So you have 2 full days to get the comfy fabric. So I rushed as fast as I could through the beginning of Chapter 3. I got cri-kee, and it took me 2 days. So now I'm a day and a half into, we're day 3, almost day 4. And I need 3 more fabric. So I'm pretty confident that I'll get it. Worst case scenario, I can just spend some more gems and rush through it. But it was extremely difficult to do without gems. I couldn't imagine doing this without gems, even with all my characters very high level. There are lots of people on the forums that did, but this just seemed really, really difficult. So what do you think about that?
I was happy to see that we could get the costume with regular magic potion instead of event currency. I thought that was really good because obviously you were already tight on event currency. So that was good. I was glad that we had both of the costumes available to work on as soon as Chapter 3 opened. I know we kind of wondered, like, how was we have to actually get cri-kee before the quest would even pop up. So I was happy for those things. I already had like most of the tokens. The glitch fabric dropped really quickly for me. I have both Chip and Dale, and so that 60-minute helped. Like they probably dropped it pretty much almost every time. The princess dressing room also dropped one for me. I don't have cri-kee yet, but right now I have all the other tokens. The currency, so it's gonna be like, it's like right under like 183 gems is what I would have to spend right now without having cri-kee to collect the other fabric. And so I'm most likely to do that because I think by the time I cri-kee, it's gonna be maybe kind of too late. I mean, if I get him somehow before, nah, I probably won't. Just looking at how things are going, I'll just go ahead and spend that 183. That's not that bad in my opinion. Instead of doing the 499. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely very, very challenging to complete this with the extra on top. This is the first time that they had a tower challenge where the character that you were trying to collect for was not the final prize.
Yeah.
Is that correct? There was nothing after the mayor last time around.
This is the first time. I mean, usually once you get that final character, you're done.
Right. So to make it so that, and most people, like, I remember I got the mayor with like hours to spare. So, to make something, like this and put this in, added a much, much bigger challenge to this game. So there you go. It was definitely a challenge, definitely hard. I'm glad that I will complete it. But it was definitely a challenge, to say the least. But I enjoyed the event. I think that the tower challenge was fun. I liked Mulan. I wish that they would have Like, once they announced, like, the Mulan, that it was going to be, like, Mulan-based Tower Challenge, like, I wish they would have released the Mulan Legendary Chests.
Yeah.
And not made you wait all the way until, literally Chapter 3. Because from the time they announced it till Chapter 3, like, I was waiting and hoping that I would be able to buy them so I could start leveling them up and give me a shot, a better shot, I should say, at completing the Tower Challenge. So that's my only request, would be to, like, have them, like, if you're going to announce a character themed based Tower Challenge, which they're all storyline based, release that storyline's legendary chests right after your announcement, like right after the live stream, whenever the next bundle comes out. Release that so that people can get hyped about it, right? That's when you have the most hype, right? People are like, yes, and so I think it would be a great time to release it, even if it's just for like 2 days, so people could just get in there and get it. That's the one thing I would wish for moving forward. So that is it. That's the Tower Challenge. That is it. It ends in 2 days. Any final thoughts on what you think about this?
It was definitely more difficult than previous ones, but I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. I probably won't get the bacon eggs breakfast stand. And I enjoyed having the costumes. I like the comfy costumes. I like that they added one for Mulan. And overall, I'm okay, It was a little more difficult, but I think that's a good thing. But, there's some things that were like, whoa, like the 5,000 for Mulan and stuff, but...
Yeah, no, they have to keep challenging the experienced players who are tapped out, right? To keep it interesting for them as well. But, so do you think they should continue making them harder?
Making what?
Making them harder. Do you feel like this difficulty level needs to keep going up?
I don't know if it needs to keep going up. I think that it was good where it's at. I think that it definitely will put pressure on people to be more prepared, as, making sure you're leveling up your characters, seeing if that makes a difference. I couldn't imagine it being more difficult, honestly. I think we're there.
No, it's a valid question to think about as far as how difficult you want to make it. Because they're making it exponentially more difficult each time. Every Tower Challenge I've played has been a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. So now here we are. So do they keep making it a little bit harder? I say no. I think this is a nice hard stop point, at least for now. Until other things get added to the Tower Challenges. I love the way they added the duo, triple, and quad slots. So I think that there's other cool ways to do it, or even like expanding it out so that you have another slot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So instead of 3 plus the featured character and featured set, like bumping it out one more. Something to that nature. That could be interesting too. And that would be another way to give them flexibility to increase it again to be more challenging.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well,
the only way I could see it getting more difficult is if like we got higher level characters, like if that became a thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that might happen in the future. I mean, they did raise Pirates of the Caribbean I think they were capped at 6, and they put them to 10 like everyone else. But I could see characters getting eventually the character level getting bumped up.
Yeah.
To some point. And maybe when they do that, they'll actually make player levels have something to do with it too. Yay, I got a gem. Okay, moving on to the event of the week. No event of the week during Tower Challenges. Leaderboards are based on points earned in each chapter. So the event of this week is earn the bacon and egg smiley face stand, which I don't think I will be doing. But that's okay. I'm kind of okay not getting that because Jack's Nom Nom cookie stand was the goal. That was the prize for me. All right. So now we get to move on into the next segment, which is it worth it? Is It Worth It is a segment where we talk about premium characters and attractions that are in the game and whether or not a player should purchase these if they are trying to decide between, getting other characters or attractions, making that decision. So today, we will be talking about Mike and Sully to the Rescue. Mike and Sully to the Rescue is based as a dark ride attraction at the Disney California Adventure at Disneyland Resort. It is based on, of course, Monsters Incorporated. The ride follows very closely to the story of the film. The queue area is themed to a bus station with commercials of tourist spots within the city of Monstropolis. So this ride, a couple of things about it. Its collection time is 6 hours. It was 12 hours originally, but they decreased the time with the Sleeping Beauty update in May of 2016. And the rewards decreased a little bit from, the XP and magic that you earned from it went down a little bit shortly after that in September. So what do we get from it? It is 130 gems to purchase, which is not too bad. And it drops Rapunzel ears and the horned rimmed glasses for Roz. It is a 13 by 13, so it's not the smallest of attractions, but it's not overly giant, like it's not a Kraken, for example. And then it's in, and it gives you a couple of things to do for quests that require this attraction. So you can send Boo out for a 2-hour task, and that will also earn you Roz's horn-rimmed glasses. You can send Mike to do the check on the doors, which is a 4-hour task, which will allow you to get the Roz's ears. And then it will also let you send Sully over there to do a 6-hour task with Randall called Compete with Randall to earn Mother Gothel ears. So those are all pretty tough things to get. The Roz tokens, but the Mother Gothel ears, it always is a, those are legendary items. So legendary items are always hard to come by. They're usually 12-hour tasks, or 8 to 12, I should say. And so being able to do it in 6 it lets you get 3 in a day, or 4, depending on how much you play. So here's my thoughts on it. I've had this. I got it pretty early when I was doing Monsters, Inc., and I don't think I've ever taken it out of my park. There's lots of things that I've pulled in, pulled out, and it replaced according to what I needed, and I don't think this has ever left my park. So I think a 6-hour collection time is pretty decent for the way that I play. I think that the drops that it gets are fantastic because you're always kind of working on Rapunzel and Roz. Those are always characters you're working on, and Mother Gothel ears. So I think it's a really good attraction. I would say yes. I would say it's worth it. I think this is a good one to have in your park. What about you, AGeekyChick?
Yeah, I have it. It's been a long time that I got it, but it was never one of those things that I credit. And I agree with you. I don't put it away.
Cool.
Yeah.
Deep thoughts by AGeekyChick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So good. So we have general consensus. In the chat, Name the Meme says, I'd say for Gothel ears, you could send Philip out for an 8-hour quest. Philip's never busy, which is true. I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. I understand. But this just gives you another option to get more. While you don't need an extensive amount of her ears, it's always nice to have more options. And Philip's sometimes a jerk. He doesn't like to drop things. I mean, let's face it. All right, so that is it. I would say it gets is it worth it? I would say yes. So if you're early on and this is something you're considering getting, it's a pretty cool and it looks awesome. It's not too big, drops good stuff. So I'd say go for it. All right, it's time for everyone's favorite song. It's time for the feature report. Feature report. Feature report. Feature report. Feature report is a segment where we talk about an idea or feature what we would like to see implemented into the game. So the feature report we have for this week is from me. I like to get feature reports from other people, and I actually think I have another one here that we'll talk about. But this is one that's really been something that I've been thinking about a lot. So we talk about ways to make things easier for us, especially as we get more and more characters. One thing we've talked about in a feature report is to like send all your characters on a specific time quest. So either 1 hour quests, or at night, for example, I'd like to send them all out on 8 hour quests, or, you know, during the day, like 2 hour quests, and being able to filter that in some way. But at night, what I'm doing is like, you know, I'm going through and I'm like, click, 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 right? I'm going through and I'm sending people out. But I have to, like, there's like a pattern, right? Like everyone knows this who's been playing a while. Like, you know, like you get the middle is 2 hours, middle is 2 hours. But then like there's like, they have a joint quest for 60 minutes. So then it's actually the third slot down. So you have to like kind of like get your finger in so you can kind of sort of hit that button down there. And then, you know, like, and then, you know, like, okay, like in this character set, I have 2 hour, bottom, 2 hour. It's like, you know, it's almost like the Konami code. You're going like up, down, left, right, you know? So what I would love to do is be able to filter out, like just check a box in the advanced features section that I always talk about. Check a box that says, you know, like remove all joint tasks, so that you don't have to see tasks with other players, other characters. Because then everything will kind of line up the way you want it to. Well, your 60-minute will be on the top for the most part. Some players have 2, but your 2 hour will be kind of, for the most part, in the middle. So if you just want to send everyone out 2, it's so easy. You can just tap, 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 tap. For like, sometimes if I want to do like 8 hour quests, it's like I have to scroll all the way through all these things and kind of dig out where I'm looking. And it makes it difficult for me to try to like find, like it takes a long time. And when you're doing 100+ characters, I mean, I know people say send them home, but you get so much less magic for sending them home. So, and then, you know, people will also say, well, I don't earn enough magic. Well, this is why. You know, you need to keep all your characters in the park, and you need to send them out. So I wish that there was an option so that you didn't have joint tasks, that you could just see your own people so they were kind of all in order the way, and it would make life so much easier. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a slow process as you have more characters to be able to put them out, where most of your game time or in-game time is sending them out. I do send people home sometimes, and then, but like when I need magic, you're having to bring them back out for quests. Another thing that when you're talking about seeing the joint tasks that bother me is like, I'm looking at that joint task, but I don't know everything that other person can do. Because what if that other person can get a token, but now I've sent them on a joint task by mistake, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really want to do that because they could have got that token. And so it's definitely an area that needs to be improved. I appreciate the sending them home, but why are we penalized for sending them home? When, to me, there's obviously an issue of how long it takes to be able to send everybody out on a quest. You're just sitting in the game. I mean, that's not like, to me, it's not game enjoyment, because only like what Mickey and Friends and Toy Story are the only ones who have voices. So it's not like you're getting a cute, you know, voice every time you send them. So I feel like it definitely needs to be worked on. I don't like that we get penalized for sending them home. And yeah, like you said, the customization, adding away, somehow it just needs to be improved.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. When I'm looking to send people on like joint quests, for example, like, or I'm doing something, I'll like if it's 2 characters, like let's say it's like Nick and Judy, right? And Judy comes up first. I'll skip Judy. Yeah. and go to Nick to see, does he have a token that I was going to need? You know, because that happens all the time. all the
Yes, it
time. I'm
does.
like, whoa, no! I just sent them out for 6 hours, and
And it's
so
always the longest quest that you've sent them on.
yeah,
It's
or
like,
like a 24-hour ice picking. But yeah, no, totally. I agree with you very much on that. Someone else actually had a feature report. I apologize. I can't find it right now. But they had some. You had mentioned voices. Yeah, we'd love more voices in the game. I would love for, not just to hear Bo Peep talk about flocking her sheep, every time because I do like it, but either updating the voices or adding new ones for new characters would be awesome.
yeah.
One of the things that developers I know always talk about is the size of the game, and people always complain about that too. Like, oh, you had an update. And by the way, Disney Magic Kingdoms has been great about this, at least on iOS. They've been doing Delta updates, so you don't have to re-download the whole game every time. Like, you just have to download like little patches, which has been fantastic. But developers always like to keep the game smaller because, it just makes it difficult, right? And it takes up space. So again, in my advanced options section that I would love to be able to have the option of downloading more content and more voices, and things like that. Hearthstone, for example, does that, where when you first install the game, you get the base game, and they actually don't have voices, and it doesn't have the golden card animations. They're out of the game, and you have to click a button to like download them, and then go. So it's something like that. I think it would be cool to add. If game size was one of the constraints they were thinking about, but if not, I just think it would be cool to have that as an option. And finally, we have one more feature report from Hayden. Hayden messaged me and said, I have a suggestion for this week's feature report. I would like to see a feature which gives you the option of missions to complete or mini games to earn rewards for your kingdom. I like that. I really like that. I think it would be cool to have like a daily daily mission where Mickey goes out and like it was like today's Mickey's daily mission. Send him to do this, and if you do, like, you get extra magic or an extra bronze chest or something of that nature, just to kind of add that little feature into it. Again, referring to Hearthstone, which is the other big game that I play, they have, daily quests in there where you get a quest every day to, like, kill 20 creatures or play 20 cards. And if you don't like it, you can actually, like, shuffle it once to get another one. But I think it would be a fun addition to add to Disney Magic Kingdoms, and it's another way to get a little bit more stuff, especially at the beginning of the game. I think it would be really fun for newer players, and another way for them to kind of earn a little bit of extra stuff. So I love that idea. Well, you play lots of mobile games, so what do you think about that?
I do. That's what I was thinking. I do play a lot of mobile games, and a lot of them, like, as a daily task or like a daily bingo where different things, that you have to do, you get them all done and you get, like you said, a magic or whatever it is. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe it'd be more difficult, you get a character token or something, but just something to give you something to do. I think something to bring older players back in the game every day versus, like, as if you have everybody maxed out and there's people sitting on like multi-millionaires when it comes to Magic. There's really not a reason to be in the game besides when there's a new event. And I think daily tasks would keep people in the game and keep people from straying and give you something to focus on when, how you're kind of like stuck when you're just working on collecting tokens for one character. You don't really have any more side quests to do. And you're just kind of like, you just log in. Like, that's how, for me, I end up sending them everybody I don't need home. And then I'll just go in, log in real quick, send the people out for the tokens that I need for that one character, and then I'm out. And so I'm on, especially the later characters where it's like 6-hour tasks, you maybe only be in the game once or twice for a day, where my other games where I'm like, oh, let me go in, I gotta this and in those games longer because they have something for me to do.
Yeah, awesome. Love that, Hayden. Thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate that. If you have a feature that you'd like to see implemented, please write into our show using any of our various social media platforms and let us know. Your idea could be on next week's show. That's for feature reports. That's for anything. We want to hear from you. If you have a new segment idea, we want to hear it. We're always looking to expand the show, do new things. This show is meant for the community, and we really want this to be for you guys. So if you have input, we want to hear it. So make sure you get in touch with us. Okay, so now we're going to go around the community. Around the Community is a place to highlight some awesome content created by Disney Magic Kingdom's fans, as well as touch base with our viewers and listeners. So we talked about this last week. Tom Wright, our friend of the show, he is the creator that I found on the Disney Magic Kingdom's Facebook group, Disney Magic Kingdom Champions, makes concepts for new expansions. We went over the Pinocchio expansion a few weeks ago, and so this week we wanted to highlight a new idea, which would be Moana. So for Moana, he has, and you know what I need to do? I need to up my video production game so that you guys could see this too if you were watching. So for Moana, he wants to do a permanent update idea rather than an event. So as part of this permanent update idea, a new plot of land opens in Adventureland. So right off the bat, everyone's saying, yes, I like this, right? 4 new characters: Pua, Moana, Maui, and Hey. And Hey he has listed as being like the premium character. Then there are, so let's just talk about, let's break it down as we go through. So 4 new characters. So what do you think of those 4?
Yeah, that sounds good. Pua is the pig and Hey is the bird, right?
Yeah, he's the chicken.
Moana. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's really nice for a permanent content update, and it leaves room for expansion for a tower challenge, for example. There's plenty of room. I mean, everyone would want to see Tamatoa. Eventually, he'd be a great villain to add. So I think it's cool. I like that. So now 3 new attractions would be Montanui Village, the ocean, featuring Moana's raft, and then Te Fiti as the premium attraction. So what do you think? I love. Yeah. I mean, Montanui Village would be obvious. That's where you're going to be doing things. But where else would you go? So the ocean featuring Moana's raft, I think that's cool. I think that Te Fiti is a great idea. What's the realm of monsters? What's the name of that again?
I don't remember.
Kakamora? No, I'm having a mental brain. But yeah, I think that would be a cool place to go, like the realm of the monsters, where Tamatoa lives. Yeah, Kakamora is. Are those the little dudes? Man, I'm having YouTube chat, help me out. But okay, anyway, that's where I think would be a cool thing to go. No, the Kakamora are the little coconut guys, which would be a cool addition to it. Realm of the monsters. Wonderful. Anyway, I'll move on. 3 new concession stands. The Hey hat stand. Awesome. The Kakamora mask stand. There we go. So everyone wants to be a coconut mask. And then the flower crown stand. Moana's famous flower crown. I love it.
Those are good.
Those are like perfect concessions.
They are.
Nothing I would change. Lalatoa. Thank you, Alicia. Yes. So anyway, then he has a whole bunch of new decorations. I think it's when we go through the list, I like them, but I think it's too much. He has a pile of coconuts, shiny shells, the "You're Welcome" sign, a palm tree, a Maui stone statue, and Polynesian totems. I like them. I think that there's just too many. I think we'd need to narrow that down to 3. What did we have for? I mean, Wreck-It Ralph had like the 3 arcade games, and then what else did they have? There was just a couple of things, and that was a full event.
Yeah, I think it was just the arcade were the only decorations.
So
And then they had they had a lot of concessions for that one.
yeah, I think the three decorations would be good. I think Palm Tree can come out. You know, I like the shiny shells. I think that would be fun to add when you added Tamatoa. So yeah, but I like it. New parade float, designed based on the Kakamora, so like that giant ship with the other ships on the side. I think that would be super cute. And then one new costume, Moana's comfy clothes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
good.
The shiny shirt. I love it. It says shiny with a question mark, and it has a picture of Tamatoa on it. It's one of my favorite of the comfy shirts. So I think they're all great. Anything you see here that you super love? Anything you'd want to add?
The Tafiti attraction sounds like really nice. I really like that one. I think that's, and then the Kokokamora mass stand, that I like that.
Yeah. It would be cool too if it gave out like different ones, like, because remember like when you see them on the ship, you know, like, and like he like goes across his face and like, you know, he draws like a really mean face. Like it would be cool if you could have like different ones, like it was like random, like what different coconut face they got. So that would be fun. So thank you very much, Tom. We appreciate it. We're going to be featuring more of Tom's stuff on the show. He has some really, really great content ideas, so they will be highlighted on the show. All right, so we have a couple of quick community questions. Go ahead, GeekyChick. Why don't you read them and we'll get those answered.
Okay. This is William. What do you guys think about only having cri-kee's hats and then only being able to use him to get the Mulan fabrics? For me, I mean, it seems very tight and only just the 5 days. I know, Steve, you talked about how you rushed to get cri-kee just so you could. I saw people in the chat saying that the drop rates aren't very good, you know, still 0, and I've been trying. So I don't know. I think that needs to be tweaked if this is going to be a common thing, that after we get our main character, there's going to be another prize in the tower challenges. I don't think 5 days was really enough.
Yeah. I think I was kind of because no one knew what was going on. There was no clear answer to how getting the Mulan comfy costume, knowing that only cri-kee was going to be the one that could get her, was going to work. I kind of thought that maybe there would be a couple of days, like bonus days afterwards to like get her or something of that nature, and that wasn't the case. But again, we talked about making it a super hard challenge. So yeah, there's always two sides of the street, and you know, you just have to look at it from both sides. It was very, 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 very difficult.
And you know, it's the free to play game, and you just have to come to the point where you understand it's free to play, but not everything is going to be free. And you have to decide if you're going to spend gems to get it or just be okay without getting it if it's too difficult to get in that time span, you know?
Yep.
Aiden says, is the comfy costume Mulan bundle worth it? And do we think Princess and the Frog is next? I think that the bundle is worth it. And someone said this, that if you've had those, like, what did they say? If you had some of the fabric and then you ended up still buying the bundle, like, you don't lose those fabric. If another character needed it, like the glitch fabric, like, they're still there. And then price-wise, like, compared to like $4.99 versus spend on gems, if you didn't have any of those, it seems like it's definitely worth it. But I say everything is worth it because I'm a completionist. Like, I want to have everything, and then the bundles usually are always a better deal than if you just spent gems price-wise, like how much you paid for those gems if you bought them. And I mean, even if you didn't buy them, the amount of time it took you to save up those gems versus the $4.99.
Absolutely. If you think about how many concessions I needed, refreshers I needed, and the amount of gems that I use to speed up, things like, I spent about 500 gems. That was also to get the warrior costume, but if you think about just to get the 2 costumes, 500 gems, that's in the store, that's $19.99. If you were to buy that straight up. So getting the Mulan costume for $5 is definitely worth it, as far as bang for your buck goes. They're always more worth it in that respect. I think the comfy costume is cool. I think it's awesome. I'm working really hard to get it. I really feel like something special is going to happen when you get all the comfy costumes. I really hope so. Because I think it would be a really giant letdown to like be able to get all the comfy costumes and there's just nothing to be done with them. I'm sure that they have something planned for that. I couldn't see them not. So, and do I think Princess and the Frog is next? Well, M. McClure also says if you look at the diamond colors, it looks like we're going to be Pinocchio. I don't know. I really don't know. Someone posted a picture of Tiana on her balcony, looking at the wishing star, and like I was totally convinced. But yeah, it definitely could be Pinocchio too. We will find out Friday. That's what I do know for sure.
The thing for me that I'm kind of really thinking that it's Princess and the Frog, and I did not want to get, but the fact that the one piece that's missing is right next to that star, and if you've seen Princess and the Frog, you know that there ends up being 2 stars up in the sky, without giving away too much. And so,
spoiler alert.
Well, but that doesn't mean you won't know 2 stars in the sky. What does that mean? But so I feel like that's the only thing that they could be keeping from us by not putting that puzzle piece there.
I agree. I just didn't want to.
That'd be
yeah, I just didn't want to spoil the whole movie for all. I
didn't. So. I just said that there would be 2 stars. I didn't say why, but I mean, I think if it's Pinocchio and it's really just nothing next to that star, that would be pretty let down. Like, who would care that puzzle piece is not missing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Woodwaski actually submitted this as like a feature report, but it was still a question. Do you think they should add more customizable scenery, trees, bushes, flowers, that type of thing? And for me, the first thing I thought about was I remember when we would first get our events and added character sets that it seemed like we would always get a matching bench and a matching lamppost. And I liked that, something to kind of theme your park. I liked with the Lilo and Stitch, we had the little huts and things. So I like having the decorations. The only thing is they don't give us a lot of space. And the way the park is shaped, we don't have a lot of room to be creative. And that's probably one of my biggest gripes about the game compared to other builder games on mobile. They have a lot of decorations that you can buy and a lot of space, and things aren't shaped irregularly, and our land isn't shaped irregularly, and you could just have a lot of freedom to express yourself by decorating. And I wish that we had more freedom to do that.
Yeah, one thing is why can't you put bushes and trees and things like that on the grass?
Yeah.
Right? There's a tree. Why don't you put it in the grass? So I think that would be a cool way too, adding more decorations, but also allowing people to utilize that, because I'm very tight for space. When I'm done arranging my park, then my daughter goes in and kind of just throws stuff down randomly, but it's hidden behind stuff and whatever. But I would love to be able to decorate on the lawn and the grass and all the spaces in between. I think that would really allow for some cool park customization. So, well, thank you so much for your questions. We will stick around after the show to talk in YouTube for just a little bit longer and answer some more questions. But we do have to end the show for now. Some other things that were around the kingdom, chests were available that contained tokens for the characters that were helpers in Chapter 2. They also had Maleficent coins and refresher tokens. They were 25 gems each, or $4.99 for US dollars for a bundle. As we talked about also, the ruby chests are available and contain tokens for the characters that were helpers in Chapter 3. They also have Maleficent coins, Warrior Mulan fabric, and Refresher tokens. They are 25 gems each, or $4.99 for a bundle. And then we have all the legendary chest bundles for the Tower Challenge. Lilo and Stitch, Incredibles, and the Mulan chests now became available in the 3rd chapter. They will end when the event ends in 2 days. So get them while you can. All right, so we have 2 new 5-star reviews. So thank you so much for those reviews. Let me get over to them right now. So we have 1 new 5-star rating. So thank you for that. And so from William C.D. Great podcast is the title. It says, an amazing podcast as always. Love listening to the series and finding out your opinions on the things and where you're at in the game. Cool. Thank you so much, William, for your review. And then Leafy Buns says, Geek Out. A very informative podcast to help you along your Magic Kingdom's journey. Awesome. Thank you so much to Leafy Buns and William CD for the 5-star reviews. It really helps. I do appreciate that so much. Again, thank you. All right, shout-outs. This week, our Spotlight contributor in the group is Jill. Thank you so much, Jill, for all your content that you put into the group and just for being awesome. That's my only shout-out for this week. And a shout-out to the YouTube community for our first live show. Hopefully we can do this more often. But shout-out to all you people out there who are making the chat and the show fun. AGeekyChick, who do you got to shout out?
I'm going to shout out my son, Ben. He come down with the flu, and he will be home with me tomorrow, and I'll TV for him to watch. He usually like watching my YouTube videos, so I'll let him watch this also, and he'll like hearing his name at the end.
Feel better, Ben. Cool. Well, next week's show, I don't have anyone on the calendar. I am thinking of bringing on somebody possibly from our Facebook group. So I will be looking into that. There's a couple of people I have in mind who I'm going to probably be reaching out to, see if they can make it. So that is up in the air still for next week. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Following that, so that will be next week. The week after that, Disney Girl is scheduled to be back on the show. So it'll be great to have her aboard. And then the week after that, we have Jason Headley coming back. And it's always a very fun show with him. He always makes me smile a lot, for sure. The official comedian of Around the Kingdom. So thank you again, AGeekyChick, for joining me and in back-to-back weeks. Always love having you here. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ATK Podcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATK Podcast. Here you'll find out before anyone else about breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. The show's Facebook group is up, and it's a great way to easily interact with me and other fans of the show to talk about our favorite game. The link to our group will be in the show notes and can also be found on the show's main Facebook page. Also, you can write into the show. Our email address is aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, what's working, what's terrible, or any other topic you want to write in about, or even if you just want to say hi. We're now on YouTube. If you want to watch the show and see my awesome guests, please head on over and subscribe to our channel, like the video, and smash the bell to get notified when a new show goes live or when we go live. The link to our channel will be in the show notes. If you want to help support the show, please head over to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Doing this is quick and easy, costs you nothing, but helps us greatly to be seen by other people so they can enjoy the show also. All 5-star reviews will be read at the end of each episode. Listening to the show is all we could really ask for, but if you do want to help support us in another way, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/AroundTheKingdom. We're halfway towards our first goal to help the production of the show and get me a soundboard so I don't have to hold up the phone to my microphone. It's also a great way to show your support for just about $1 an episode. The page was just put up, so we'll be adding some cool rewards to the tiers of support, but for now, you'll get a special shout out at the beginning of each episode. Again, it's patreon.com/AroundTheKingdom. The link will be in the show notes. Thanks again for joining us this week. I am Steve Squirrel. For myself and AGeekyChick, we hope you have a great night, and we will see you around the kingdom next week.
Bye, everyone.
Cool.
I waved bye, but I don't know. We're not bye on here yet. So.
We're not bye on YouTube yet. We'll stick around on YouTube for a couple more minutes if you guys want to talk a little bit more and ask some questions. Just say hi. Stick around for a few more minutes, and then I get to edit the show. Lots of fun. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Neem the Meme, Alicia, M. McClure, Speedy Ultra, Allison, Alicia, M. McClure, Stacy, Elliot. Did I ever say Allison? I'll say it again. Yeah. Aiden.
Neem says, what was your last maxing out?
My last maxing out was Aurora. I did Aurora right before chapter 3, so I did that at the end of chapter 2. And then I actually just sent Fairy Godmother out to go to 9, so she's going up to 9 right now. Just because I wanted to level someone that took a while. I didn't want to keep I didn't want to level like 5 or 6 people or even like 3 or 4. I just wanted to kind of like send somebody out for 16 hours and like not have to think about leveling. So Fairy Godmother seemed like a pretty safe choice.
Yeah.
With no token conflicts or anything like that. Kelly, see you later.
I've been kind of hesitant to max my characters out because it's like if they ever give them a costume, you miss out on that extra animation scene. And I kind of don't like that.
Yeah, and one of our big feature reports to be able to replay animations for different costumes.
I think that's needed because it's kind of not fair, you know?
Yeah, you have to go on YouTube.
Because that's like one of the biggest parts of the game. I mean, the welcome screen.
Yep. Elliot says, when do you think we will hear about the exciting thing DMK will have? It was the reason why the token amount went up. Yes, so right when they started doing all the balance, actually right when they added the tokens to the chests, they talked about this exciting new feature that they were super excited about, and that was the reason they did it. And then balancing that they're doing to each of the individual character sets is all part of this Grandmaster scheme. I have no idea, Elliot. Maybe it's leveling. Maybe it's raising the ranks. Maybe it's putting them to 20. Maybe that's one of the things.
I feel like that needs to be done.
But I don't know. When do I think we'll hear about it? I don't think until I think they have to finish balancing, and that's not done yet. So I think we're looking at the end of this year before we would get that announcement.
Friday is live stream. I'm excited. Hopefully it's fun. And hopefully it's live and not just pre-recorded thing.
Allison's making fun of my faces. It's late. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's only 10 o'clock for you, AGeekyChick.
Only.
Oh, only 10 o'clock.
I have a sick child. That's like the amount of energy I've spent today. It feels way later. Oh, did I just spent a refresher on somebody that I can't even send out on the task.
Yes, I love when I do that. They shouldn't let you spend a refresher on them.
Yeah, if they're busy on like a 6-hour task. I can't believe I did that. I can't even, that was a bad one.
Yes, I'm excited for the live stream Friday, Stacy. Yes, I think we all are. We're looking forward to that.
I would like extra slots too for leveling up characters.
Yeah, if they suddenly bumped every character to 20, they would need to add an extra slot.
Yeah, I mean, and then I'm wondering, like, they would have to readjust times because there's no way I'm gonna, level up a character for 2 days. Well, I mean, there is a way because if they told me to do it, but you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not gonna quit the game over it. I just complain about it every day.
Yeah.
Day 2 of leveling up Mickey.
Yeah. But at least they, it would be cool, like if like they like put them into like cryostasis or something, where like they were like just a frozen block, and like when they level up, like break out of the block.
I know, like days. Can you imagine that?
Or like Han Solo in the carbonite, just.
We might do something. I want to. When you're talking about like the different masks, have you ever seen if the spooky scary mask from Nightmare Before Christmas, if you get more than, like, do you get all 3 of those guys? I've never seen them with all 3 of them.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? The little kids, the Nightmare Before Christmas kids, their mask stand.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. No one ever. I see them get a mask, but 2 days, that would be insane, I know. Their tokens went up a rarity. Oh.
Yeah, suddenly everyone's tokens were legendary. Oh my gosh. Or they make something harder than legendary. They make, like, extreme, which is like a 1% drop rate, and you need 12 of them.
Or they, like, add in a new token for each set. Like, once they hit 11, now there's extra token you have to start collecting. Oh, my goodness. People would complain. But I mean...
All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much, YouTube, for being with us tonight. I know a lot of people are leaving now, and I need to get this show edited so I can put it up. Thank you so much again for everything. I really appreciate it. This was really fun to go live. I was not expecting to do this. It was last minute. I would have done my hair a little better. But cool. Thank you, everyone, for everything. I'm going to end the stream now. I hope you have a really good night. And see ya.
Hi, everyone.